amount may be, we need to keep in mind that the other high schools may come with the same request, and that we would really need to be, we do not need to be in a position of having to tell them yes to one and no to another.
Well, I
so
think,
to speak.
like the commissioner here said, you got 3 different high schools on here now.
That remain, the 4 would remain at Cook County.
National.
Just at the end of the sheet.
We can move it to the end of the agenda, but that's gonna, you know, then Mr. Duncan gets to sit here through the rest of our meeting.
He's
It
in
sounds like he's willing to do so. Or we can carry it over to the next meeting to see what new funding requests may be in and what is the most critical need to fund.
If any of these die for lack of a motion, essentially that means that they get the letter saying that we did not vote, but they can always submit another request, correct? I mean, there's no limit to the number of requests that can be submitted.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. We have put dirt on in about 6 or 7 years.
Well, Mr. Chairman, can I ask if they worried about transportation and it's not really gonna cost the county that much, could the county help in transporting this dirt so we can save a little money there?
Where does it come from?
Okay,
Yeah.
is right
It
outside
comes
gas
from
in
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
I'm in Birmingham. We'd be around 459.
What'd you say it costs to do a field?
It's about $3,500.
And
How many fields do you have?
How many do I need? I'm for there. We just have one.
Countywide, there would be 7, you know, 7
$3,500 for.
each field.
You know, that's considered, you know, you're putting some, what do they call it, infield mix, plus your top coat, you know, that kind of stuff.
Well,
Does most fields need 2 loads? Is that what you try to shoot for?
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I would say probably 2 loads.
Yeah.
Unless you want to put all that crimson stone on it, you know, you put 2 or 3 inches of that, you're gonna get a lot of money, but you want to try to top coat it or put a coat and put that on top of it.
Now, I'm speaking totally out of, cause I don't know nothing about it, but I've seen some of these ball fields where they sod their infield and just leave their, would that save you money if you just did your base running in the dirt
Well-
and sod the infield?
Softball doesn't play on grass infields. Baseball does, but not softball.
Okay.
Softball's all
See,
that.
I totally was speaking out of, I don't know.
And so my field has washes.
That's a good point.
Washes right down through third base, which usually get rained out, but a lot of my dirt goes off. You know, because we've got a building behind it with a sloped roof and it runs right off on it. You know, we're in real close quarters and things.
Can we put gutters for less on that roof than?
There are gutters, but not a whole lot, you know, there's just nowhere for it all to go. But
I'll make a motion for $3,500 for the physical softball team for the fields, for the dirt. for the field.
Cover the one field. We have a motion at this time for $3,500, and with, as the chairman pointed out earlier, Mr. Duncan, there's not a limit on the amount of requests that you can submit, and whether things look better for us in the future as just kind of a perspective. 8,000 a month may accumulate.
I would like to see the county participate in going and picking up these schools, crimson stones for them, save a hall bill.
Is that the closest place, or is that the best price place, or?
there's a place out of Hazel Green, but you can't get anything but.
There's one outside of Gadsden, because we went over and got some of it. It was several years ago.
What you do is you have to buy through Southern Athletic Fields out of Columbia, Tennessee.
The full 25,000 and help them out, but as we all know, it's just not practical at this point. So, now we can be optimistic, always be optimistic about the future, and never despise small beginnings, as the word encourages us. So at this time, we do have a motion on the table for $3,500, and I would ask is the body, is there a second? Second. All in favor, say aye. Are there any nays?
Is that 35 just Pisgah? We're gonna do section and
My motion is-
individual,
Just
just Pisgah. Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion, give a skyline for the same program high school softball program, they're requesting 25,000 too. And I really,
Sections on here too.
is it on the first
On the
page?
front,
Well, is it for 2,500 too?
it's for some-
25,000.
Do we know if they need dirt for their fields, or, I mean,
25,000.
we don't know what they need.
Okay, well, my desire was to get Mr. Duncan's request out of the way so he'd be free to go, or free to stay, whichever he would choose to do. But nevertheless, Mr. Duncan, I know as others have been disappointed, you may be disappointed at that amount, but I hope it does help a little.
Yeah, it helps some. I mean, I would love to have had more, because we've got much things we want to get done, but, you know, anything we get is gonna be better than what I came with.
Well, maybe the 3,500, and you're gonna save transportation, if I heard right then, if the county can transport it for you, so you're gonna save a little money there.
And I'd encourage you also, with that 3,500, just as a sales pitch, that you try to use that in the form of matching funds. Matter of fact, we can term this matching funds if you so choose, but it may help you with the Board of Education, or it may help you with some other venue of garnering another 3,500 in regards to selling.
I don't think it would.
Have you talked with the Board of Education?
I have.
Yes.
I know,
This is their primary responsibility, they're just supposed to be here.
Well, gentlemen, for the sake of time, let's move forward. Let's turn back. We were at the section Lady Ryan's Diamond Club. And their request for $25,000 for their softball program. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that we table this one until the next meeting, until we find out a little bit more what their needs are before we just try and put out some money.
I've got info here.
Julie has some info, okay.
They are looking for equipment, uniforms, facilities, etc. They have a fence on a piece of land at the school. The board is in the process of putting up some lights and supposed to eventually build restrooms and a concession stand. She's saying that they've got 5 sets of 12 uniforms, 4 of which are 10 years old or older, 1 new set of catcher gear, 1 set that is 10 years old, 8 helmets, 2 batting tees, practice balls, 2 bats, a couple of nets, and a pitching machine. She said they've got 44 girls signed up.
And if I remember correctly, John, thinking back, it's typically this time of year, guys, that we're gonna see funding requests for softball-related activities. And for the most part, we won't see these requests again until next year. There may be a few exceptions, but just to be mindful that you new guys on the committee, we're not gonna be seeing softball requests.
Season's already started for me.
We just move into whatever's next season.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I'll make a motion, you fund section and Skyline at $3,500.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe we had a motion on the table to carry this over.
I withdraw my
You
motion.
withdraw your motion, and Mr. Level has a motion that we fund Skyline and section the same amount that we fund Pisgah, in the tune of 3,500 apiece. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Are there any nays?
This is for section and Skyline.
I would ask you.
Does Scottsboro get an appropriation out of that Jackson County one too?
That's a per pupil,
Rachel.
figure.
Does that go to the Board of Education, they disperse it, or
That goes straight to the nursing program. That doesn't go to the Board of
for
Education.
Jackson County
For
nurses? Where's
Jackson
that at?
County, that goes to the Jackson County nursing program.
What school is
Out
that
of the
at?
Board of Education. It's all the Jackson County schools.
Oh, is it at the tech school?
I don't know if it's at the tech school or at the, Board of Education. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
But they get separate appropriations.
Separate.
Okay.
This is the South City Board of Education.
And Make a motion, we deny the request at this time.
We have a motion to deny the request for Scottsboro City Nursing Department in regards to the computer. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays? Town of High Top is requesting $100,000.
The first one?
Yes.
How far away are they from this, you know?
I didn't know they were doing one until the last meeting, and then they said something to me. The building at the park was all I know.
I make a motion that we deny the request at this time.
John, is this one where y'all donated this building to them and all this?
No.
This is gonna be a brand new building.
I would hope they come back maybe at the end of the year once we see what, if we have some additional funds.
What your needs are,
Yeah.
be reasonable.
If we would, Keisha, follow up with the mayor. I believe that's Mr. Thackerson, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Leslie Thackerson. If you would follow up with him and see if there may be something more specific that we could look at doing that would be more within our, just to inform him of our financial situation that we're in with the TVA cuts and what we've had to do, et cetera. So
Yes, sir.
we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Alright. Woodville Schools requesting $6,000 for 4th to 6th grade robotics engineering program. They consist of 2 electric car kits. I have gone and met with them personally and discussed this request with them. Woodville is a K through 12 school, and as you heard the gentleman earlier, North Sand Mountain has some initiative as an individual, Mr. Cummings, that is pushing robotics in the school, and I think we all are starting to understand the need for more career tech related classes. It excites me to hear about classes that are getting these rowdy 4th and 5th graders up out of their desk and to a workstation. I watched a video on this. They showed me given me a presentation and watched a video of these kids building these cars. They involve the girls. It's usually a girl, smallest girl in the class, driving the car as it is electric, and they try to preserve the energy and etc. And of course, the car is going to be faster with a lighter weight in the fashion that it's built. So I wish that we could do this in every school across the state. Across the nation for that matter. I want the committee to know that I'm in full support of this program for Woodville School. Woodville School would be somewhat of a pilot school, as we discussed earlier, for the rest of the county, for us to look at and to see whether we could do more for other schools. They have got the people in place to support this and to put the effort that it would require into it, and whatever shortages they may have as our community grant funding comes in at the end of the year, then I'm willing to contribute funding out of my community grant money as well toward this project. But the time is of the essence for them, and they really needed to start this last month. But with that said, I just want the committee to know that I'm in favor of this type of education needs career tech incentive across the state. Hudson Alpha to individual teachers are trying to spread this message across the state.
Just $3,000 per kit, is that what it costs?
Yes.
Yes, 2 kids. And this would not even be possible if it wasn't for the teacher's husband that works for a company that will allow them to do this. There's only 3 of these in the whole United States. And not anyone can get them, but she's willing to do this as a pilot program.
What do you mean her husband allowing you to do it?
Her husband works for a company that is in robotics and things like that.
At the
So,
price and stuff
at the
that they were
price,
getting
this
this
is a
at.
drastically cut price, and she's even willing to do it as a pilot program and then, you know, help branch it out into the other schools, so that might be an answer to, something like the Sand Mountain initiative that could
Exactly.
be Jackson County initiative.
And then we're working the electronics, robotics / perspective from two different angles, you know. And the kids get once a year, they race these cars, or maybe twice a year, something of that nature. The cars can be disassembled so that the next class the following year can put the cars together and build it in their own style and fashion. So these cars will be reusable, they won't be one-time projects.
Would one kit be enough to get them started on the program? And then we'll get another one the following year?
I think they are doing one kit for 2 grades. Any other discussion?
I'll say,
This is gonna be very important for the pilot. You know, Sand Mountain, of course, is doing their part, but this part of the county, this could be a very, very positive thing for this end of the county. I'm all in favor of one kit.
One
but
kit.
I'm more in favor of 2 kits.
Are you?
Have we kept a running tally of where we're at?
Well, there's a few things on there in the appropriation, I think, that you're gonna be able to save some.
Look at.
And if that's the case, then we can come back and add another, so we put another.
But do they need to buy them at the same time to get this
They-
discounted price?
Yeah, because they're gonna be coming from England. They're not even here in the United
I
States.
think that in 2 kits, they save on shipping because they are coming from England. And the race is currently in England, but they have, through her husband, they have, this is, I just have to say, this initiative to get the race here in America, so.
It's a whole lot cheaper to do the 2 kits, because if you do the 1 kit, it's gonna be more than.
More per kit than the 2 kit.
But I'd like to make a motion to amend the commissioner's, motion to go ahead and let's fund both kits, 6,000. I mean, since they ordered them, you are gonna save shipping charges and all this.
Is there any other discussion?
I'll second his amendment.
We have an amendment to the motion, we have a second to the amendment. The motion is that we fund the full 6,000 for the kits. All in favor say aye. Aye. Are there any nays? And if we could get an update on the tally of where we're at, we're probably in the hole a little bit.
18,775.
We're at 18,775, so we're about $1,500 over 2 months of consideration.
But
It's
if
just,
that's a fact, Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion this time,
it's not an issue because we could, like I said, we could spend the full $100,000 today for the year. We just wouldn't have any additional monies to appropriate.
Just have the cash that we have.
It's not gonna be a negative budget issue per se. We just have to keep that in consideration that it doesn't grow.
we still have a few more items to run through.
That's true. Moving on, we are now at the